गोपीजना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे राधा वेणे माधव राधा वेणे माधव राधा वेणे माधव राधे निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की श्रील प्रभुपाद की ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. In all the Vedic literature, one of the very first beginning of all knowledge is spoken about the Adi Purusha. Adi means what? Original. And you will hear this word again and again and again in the Vedic literature. Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam, Adi Devam Ajam Vebam. Correct, no? O Lord Krishna, you are Parabrahma, you are the supreme abode, you are the supreme purifier. And then who are you? Adi Purusha. Who is saying that? Arjuna is saying. And Kuntimanan is saying, Namasye Purusham tu Adyam. Again the same word. Adyam. And the Nagapatni is in their prayer saying, Twameva Madhya Purusha Purana. They are saying, you are the Adi Purusham Puranam. Puranam means you are the oldest. So some Christians thought God being the oldest person should have a long beard. And that too white beard. And he must be really, looking like an old man. No. Adyam Purana Purusham Navayavanam cha. Who is saying this? Brahma is saying. This is another Adi. Adyam Purana Purusham Navayavanam cha. Yes, it is true. He is the oldest. Nevertheless, he looks like ever fresh and youthful. All of you are also young and youthful now. But this body will not remain young and youthful always. As it gets older, the clean faces become wrinkled faces. Jet black hair becomes white hair. Isn't it? 32 set of teeth become one out, two out, all out. Isn't it? Eyes go into the socket. And you will need extra stick to walk also when you get old. That is the situation of everybody's body. Whereas Krishna is ever fresh, he says, Adyam, Purana Purusham, Navayavanam. And I am just telling you here and there a few verses, but there are many, many verses which will use the word Adi. So, in the Shruti mantras also, there is explanation about him. Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat Tam Eva Vidvanati Mrityumeti Na Anyapanta Vidyate Ayanaya. And then he says, tam Ishwaranam paramam maheshwaram, tam Daivatanam paramam cha Daivatam, patam patinam paramam parastat, vidama devam bhuvaneshwamidyam. So these verses talk about there is one supreme, unparalleled, no one equal to him, no one greater than him. So it is very, very important for us to know about the nature of that personality before even you hear about his great activities. Because generally, whenever you go to meet a big person, first you hear about him from others, correct? No? And then others will tell about who he is, and then they will tell you his great activities. And then you can enter into his confidential life, where he may introduce you to his mother, father, wife, children, everybody. That is a personal life, private life, confidential life. But before that, you need to know his personality and his power in his profession, in his area of skill. Correct now, what great thing that he has done. Like you hear about Elon Musk, you know, you first hear about Elon Musk, what has he done, you know, in terms of rocket industry and everything. And he's not only a rich man, he's an intelligent man. So you know about his great activities. But although you may not know much about his personal activities, his family activities, correct? No? So that comes later. So therefore, first one should know the greatness. Now, in the scriptures, you will be surprised. It is said by Gajendra in his prayer, Na vidyate yasya cha janma karma va, na nama rupe guna dosha yeva va, tatapi lokapyaya sambhavayaya, swamayaya tanyanukalam richati. In this verse he says, Na vidyate yasya cha janma karma va. Lord has no janma, he says. He's called ajanma. He has no birth. And he has na karma va. He has no activities also. Now you may think, oh, if God has no birth and no activities, then why do you talk about Krishna Janma, Krishna Jayanti? Krishna is born in this world and he does activities, isn't it? And then in the immediate next verse, you know what he says? He says that, what is the next famous verse? Tatapi ye lokapya sambhavayaya swamayaya tanyanukalam richati tasmai nama pareshaya brahmane ananta shaktaye arupayo rurupaya nama ascharya karmane. He's saying, see, arupaya means what? Arupa. No form. Ururupaya means many, many forms. Lord has no form and he has many, many forms. Is it not confusing? Hare, just now you said arupaya. And then you are saying ururupaya. What is the meaning of that? Arupaya means he doesn't have a form like you and me. Our form is made up of Panchamahabhut. Whereas he has many, many forms, but all those forms are what forms? Satchidananda Vigraha forms. Yeah. And he doesn't do karma. Just now he said he doesn't have janma and he doesn't have karma. Then what does he have? Ascharya karmani. He has wonderful activities, not ordinary activities. His activities are not ordinary. His activities are superhuman, impossible. You all already studied in one of the camps about two personalities jumping from a mountain. Who are they? Krishna and Balram, isn't it? Why that activity is wonderful? Because when he jumps to the ground, he doesn't get fracture, whereas every human gets fracture. Correct? No? That's why it's wonderful. Correct? No? Any child can open the mouth. Even you and I can open the mouth. Nothing special we are going to find inside. Now, when you go to dentist hospital, every dentist will say, open the mouth. Is he surprised by your mouth? He finds similar teeth, he finds, correct, no? But when Krishna opened the mouth, who was stunned? Why was she stunned? The whole universe was in his belly. That is why his activities are not like ours. That is the whole point. Like you see, he's glancing at the dead covered boys in the bank of Yamuna. Immediately, they all come back alive. Can anybody look like that at somebody? You look at a dead person and he gets up. His activities are not ordinary. Ascharya karmane, he says. As Lord Ramachandra, he puts his foot on some stone and immediately a lady comes out. Who is that? Ahilya. Who can do that? You just touch a stone and then Mataji comes out. With with a store, with a foot. Huh? His activities are extraordinary. Our Lord Ramchandra is glancing at the ocean, and ocean boils. We cannot boil even one glass of water. If everybody can boil by seeing, all prasad you can cook like watching only. Huh? You glance and cook, isn't it? You don't need a Indian gas cylinder or something. But his eyes are powerful. His lotus feet is powerful. Who is there in this world? Any man, bring him in front of me. Who can produce a lotus from his navel and produce a baby without help of his wife? Huh? Correct, no? Every man has to give the seed to his wife, and then the wife will produce the child and give. Huh? But here, Narayana, Lakshmi is sitting at the feet, but he doesn't depend on her. From his own navel, he produces a lotus, and then he produces the first created living being, Brahma, and that. That is why his activities are not ordinary, they are divine. Huh? They are superlative, impossible to imitate. Even in the wildest of the dreams, you cannot imitate his activities. Huh? And why his birth is called Ajanma, there is a reason for that. Huh? See, for example, so many thieves go into the jail for a certain term. Huh? 3 months or 6 months or 1 year or whatever, depending on the crime they have done. So they are also going in, they are going out. Prime Minister of India sometimes may visit the jail. He is also coming in, going out. But he is not considered like them. Why? Because his coming in, going out is voluntarily done by him. But they are caught by the neck and put inside. There is a big difference between the two. He's coming with his own svecha. Krishna also says, Sambhavami Atma, not yogi, Atmamaya. Ajo Pisannavyayatma. Now Aja means unborn. The soul may say, oh, I am also Sachidananda, you are also Sachidananda. Aja, you are Aja, I am Aja. I am also not born. Only my body is born, you may say. Ajo Pisan Avyayatma means Krishna says, I have imperishable body. Soul may also say, I also have Sachidananda body eternally. Ajo Pisan Avyayatma. And then Krishna says, Bhutanam Ishwaro Pisan. I am the master of all jivas. You say. That jiva cannot say. Nityo Nityanam. God is eternal, jivas are eternal. Chetanas Chetananam. God is cognizant, we are all cognizant. So we may think, I am also like God. And then he says, what he says? Eko Bahunam. He is only one and we are many. Singular, supreme and plural subordinates. That is where we are different than him. He is the boss, we are the das. That's the main difference. So when he comes in this world, how he comes? He will read in the 10th canto that first he appears in the mind of Vasudeva. In the mind of Vasudeva, he transfers himself to the heart of Devaki. In that purport, Viragavacharya has said, commentary, Prabhupada has re-quoted that. He says, if anyone thinks Krishna occupied the womb of Devaki and was begotten just like ordinary child, the way we are all born. The Putra and Mutra come from the same hole. They both, so it's a impure part of the body from which we are born. Whereas Krishna is not born like that. Of course, a Putra can make his life glorious by becoming Krishna conscious. If you don't become Krishna conscious, then there's no difference between Putra and Mutra, it is said. He is as good as Mutra only, it is said. Both come from the same hole. It is said. Whereas Krishna is not born like that. Krishna appears in the heart of Devaki, and then he just appears in front of her. You will read that in the 10th canto, Advent of Krishna, when you read. He is not born like the way ordinary jiva is born. That is why he comes into this world and doesn't come under the laws of the world. Whereas he comes into this world and sustains the world. For example, say you have left your car outside. You have come to the class. Now you go back and occupy your car. Are you trapped in the car? You are not trapped. In fact, you are running the car. After sitting inside the car, if you don't go and sit inside the car cannot run. That means car is dependent on you for running. Krishna is like that. Krishna comes into this world, he runs the world. Maya Adhyakshena. Yeah. Not that Prakriti traps him. Prakriti traps us. But Prakriti doesn't trap him. Just like, for example, in the corner you have seen sometimes a spider makes a web. You have seen that? Goes like this, round, 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 round. And finally it sits in the middle. After having made the web. Does he get caught in that? No. But the moth and other flies, they see the design. Hey, very beautiful design. They go around and around and get stuck in that. Huh? Similarly, you have seen Mahavishnu lying, and all the universes coming from his body. Is he entangled? No. But in those universes, we get entangled by coming to those universes. No? So that is why his coming in this world is not called as birth, it is called as appearance. He appears and he disappears. Just like the sun appears in the east and disappears in Kanyakumari. It looks like if you go to Kanyakumari, South India, Cape Comorin, there you will find it appears the sun is going into the ocean. Many people click photos. And they go to the tip of India at the bottom, South India. So, but is the sun dying when it is going down? It's just disappearing from your sight. It's going to reappear elsewhere. When India gets night, America gets morning. Correct, no? Sun goes like that. Similarly, Krishna disappears from this world and he appears in another universe. And then when he disappears from that universe, he appears in the third universe. In this way, he keeps moving from universe to universe. So, because he is manifesting and unmanifesting, it is not called as birth and death. In our case, it's not like that. When we come to this world, we come by our karma bandhana, put in a particular body. You all have seen how the child suffers in the womb for 9 months, isn't it? Living with worms and everything inside. Child wants to get out of the womb and all that. He is not like that. Krishna's case is not like that. Why should he come in his devotees' family? Just to give them the pleasure that this child is my child. So he wants to increase the mamata of his devotees. So they feel more joy. Like Arjuna is his friend, but Krishna gives his sister in marriage to him. Who? Subhadra. Then the relationship becomes even more tighter. Correct, no? Imagine if somebody is your sister's husband, you become very close to him, even more close. Therefore, Krishna does like that with his devotees, increases his intimate relation with them. So, Tasmai Nama Pareshaya, Brahmane Ananda Shaktiye, Arupayoru Rupaya. He doesn't have a form like you and me, but he has many, many forms. What are they? Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narshinga. Like that, he has unlimited forms. Yeah. There is a bad smell coming here, foul smell. Is it on? Yeah. Yeah. Can open it? I think it's locked, I think. You can keep all doors open fully. That also can be open fully. The smell doesn't come from there, hopefully. Okay. Yes, keep it open. So, Harupa Yoru Rupaya. Nama Ashcharya Karmine. He is not doing ordinary karma. He does everything he does is very special. Like, for example, there are many activities which even you and I can do. What Krishna does. For example, herding cows and going to forest. Is it a big thing? Anybody can herd, is it not true? Or go into somebody's house and steal butter. Is it very difficult? So it appears very easy to do. But you will see in this world, imagine a thief got into somebody's house and stole their money. Police takes out the belt and whips him. Whereas when Krishna steals, he is called Makanchor. Navanita Taskara, we say. He is called as a Makanchor when he is stealing. Yeah. If somebody runs from the battlefield, that Kshatriya is very heavily condemned. Considered a big failure for a Kshatriya. But Krishna is called as Panchod. Is it not? Yeah, you will see that. Similarly, if somebody is found to be dancing with girls, he will be condemned as a Sri Lampad. Krishna is called Gopijana Vallabha. Correct, no? He's glorified. He can dance with hundreds and thousands of gopis and never get agitated in the mind. He can purely be a love emitter without getting attached to any of them or entangled amongst them. You see that? Yeah. So his actions, appear to be like conditioned soul's actions only. But people wonder why when he does, he is glorified. When we do the same activity, we are punished. Conditioned soul may ask. Correct, no? But he is stealing butter from the homes of gopis. Why is police not catching him? Somebody may ask. That is because all the butter is created by him only. In all the universes. You didn't create anything. You are stealing something that does not belong to you. Therefore, you are punished. Similarly, all the gopis with whom he is dancing, they are whose part and parcels? In 15.7, what does he say? Mamaivamsho, Jivaloke. But if you are catching a woman, she is not your part and parcel. Which means you are taking Krishna's part and parcel for your enjoyment. So who is a thief? He is thief or you are thief? Clear, na? See, we are taking somebody else's part and parcel and saying that he is my wife. So ultimately, all part and parcels belong to him, whether it is a gopi or a gopa or a cow or a calf or deer or parrot or peacock or tree. All jivas are his part and parcels. And he is dancing with them. He is stealing. Or he is running off a battlefield. Everybody knows he doesn't run easily. 17 times he defeated whom? Yeah. See, when Shishupal could not get the hand of Rukmini, he became very sad and very angry also. He became very depressed. At that time, Jarasandha told, hey, Shishupal, why do you become depressed? In life, you should always be hopeful. So he spoke some kind of philosophy he spoke. You see, you may lose today, you may win tomorrow. Huh? So you should be confident. Because in this world, everybody doesn't win always. And then he said, you see, even I won, recently, and I defeated Krishna in the battle. Out of fear, he ran away from me. Like that, Jarasandha was telling. Somebody reminded Jarasandha, but sir, we also heard information 17 times you ran away. Huh? Yeah. He said, that's a small detail, don't talk about it. But 18th time, I drove him away. He was telling. So, Krishna doesn't run away easily. 17 times he defeated Jarasandha and killed all the demons except him so that he'll bring more and more demons. His duty was to bring demons and Krishna's duty was to kill demons. And because he knew that if he kills Jarasandha, other demons will be difficult to get them. So he is a demon collector and giver. Huh? So Krishna used him. So, but 18th time Krishna went away for another reason. Rukmini had sent a message through a Brahman and Krishna had to immediately attend to it. Huh? As soon as he saw that, he thought, I will quit the battlefield. He went away. So, any of us, we may have the Kshatriya pride that I will never run away from the battlefield because what will world talk about me? But Krishna's one of the opulences is renunciation. Jo bolna polo. Jo bolna hai? Kuch chinta nahi. He is renounced. Because his devotees will never misunderstand him. And the envious souls may talk ill of him. He doesn't care a fig about them. Shishupal called 99 ill names. If any of us were there, we would have cried also. Imagine somebody gave you 99 gali. Say, surely either would have cried and run away or would have fought with them immediately. How many of you agree? Correct, no? Even in 2-3 galis, we cannot take. Krishna took 99 galis. And he was just, when he touched the 100th gali, then Krishna took his chakra. And why Krishna killed him? Not to show that, now that you given me gali, take it. No. He thought that if I don't stop his gali giving tendency, he will commit more offenses and will have to go to hell for longer time. So he wanted to save who? That's why his activities are acharya karmine. His activities, why he does what he does, only devotees can explain. If you don't have touch with acharyas like Prabhupada, we will never come to know. He is killing Shishupal for his... Like, Hiranyakashipu was killed by Narsimha. Somebody may say, what is so great about it? It's really great. Why it's great? If Lord doesn't come to kill the demons, the destination of the demon is hell. But when Lord kills the demons, then the Lord sends them to liberation. So that means touch of the Lord over the demons, that even liberates them. That means even for demons, Lord is auspicious. What to speak of devotees? His activities are so amazing. So even when Lord comes to cheat Bali, by taking 3 steps of land from him, his cheating is also transcendental cheating. Like for example, a mother, sees that a small baby child is trying to take the mobile. She takes away the mobile. And she hides it in the top of the fridge, she will keep it. And the child keeps crying. Why did you take my mobile? Then mom gives some toy mobile. You've seen the toy mobile, like a box where the children keep pencils and that. That child foolishly doesn't know the difference between the 2 mobiles. And he takes a toy mobile and says, hello, hello. Nobody will be on the other side. But when the child grows up to a proper age, the mother may give back the mobile. Correct, no? If the boy becomes 15, 20 years, then she gives the mobile back. Similarly, the Lord told Bali Maharaj, now I am taking it away from you. Later on, I will make you Indra and all the property will be yours. He gave back. So his cheating is for who's good? For everyone's good. For Bali is good also. Bali was proud, his pride was finished. When he became mature, Lord gave back everything to him. So where is the cheating in this? So his cheating is also like parents cheating a son or a daughter for their good. Hiding. It is for their good. So his activities are all divine. Every activity. You can trust him. You can be confident that even if some trouble comes my way by Krishna's arrangement, I think he is trying to teach me some lesson. Like a father, one father had 500 crores estates, big man. He had only small boy son. One day he picked up his son and kept him on his lap and said, Beta, I love you so much. I can assure you that when you grow up, I am going to write it all in your name. You'll be the owner of 500 crores. Imagine if any of you had a father like that. 500 crores. You can just be chanting and dancing. You don't have to go to college. You don't have to write any exams. And then father was just giving 5 rupees pocket money for him. But the boy started smoking when he was going to school days. The father heard the news. He stopped the pocket money because he was concerned about the boy's health. So a week later on Sunday when son was at home, father called him for lunch. He was not coming. He was just turning away. Father said, my son, why don't you come? Take with us. He was looking at father with a very angry eye. Papa, you are a cheater, he said. Father said, why do you say like this? You don't give me even 5 rupees these days as pocket money and you are going to give me 500 crores worth property? It's simply eyewash, he said. Father said, my son, listen to me well. If I give you this 5 rupees, you will die before me by smoking cigarettes. Then how I can write the 500 crores in your name? So in order to give this property to you, I have stopped the 5 rupees. Correct. Similarly, Krishna sometimes may not give you what you are asking because he knows you will hurt yourself with it. He knows. So as a devotee, what we should ask Krishna? Give whatever you think is good for me, best for me. Whatever will not hurt me, you give me. Because who knows best? You know or he knows? Yeah. So he said, you know best. That's what Prithu Maharaj told Krishna. My dear Lord, you are like a father, I am like a child. A child is always naughty. I may ask things which are not good for me. Like when I saw these gems for the first time, after I told my mother, Mom, take 3 dozen packets. Every day I can finish 4 packets. Is it a good idea? All your teeth will be gone. You'll become like an old man. Even as a small child, isn't it? And mom said, Beta, it's very tasty, but it is not healthy. It's not good for you. Because we are foolish. We will end up asking something deadly for us, dangerous for us. So, therefore, we should leave it to the Lord. And you are asking something, and the Lord is not giving. There's one devotee boy, how he became devotee is, his girlfriend ran away with another boy. She was a very beautiful girl. He was not very beautiful. Somehow, I don't know how their agreement came. He was the ordinary looking. She was very good looking. So she was not after him, but he was after her. And she had told him, okay, let us finish our studies and we will see. After that, if parents agree, we can marry. And he was so happy even for this answer. At that time, he was not a devotee. But later in second year, she found another friend. The women have a habit of jumping from one friend to another. She found another friend. Then that friend matched her. He was a very handsome boy and a very intelligent boy also. He was telling, I'm going to go to America and have a startup and I'll take you. And he gave a lot of hope to her and she said, wonderful. Then she told the first boy, bye-bye. But this boy, first boy became frustrated. He thought of committing suicide. So somehow one good thing happened. When he was contemplating on suicide within a week, he met one of our devotees. He went to his room and devotee gave very nice prasad. He ate the prasad, gulab jamun, everything. Where does this come from? He asked. Then he took him to the temple and the classes. And his wife forgot that girl and replaced the girl with Krishna in his heart. After that. So he came to Krishna. So sometimes Krishna may take away Imagine if that girl came in his life, she was not at all interested in devotional service. He was selling, she was only after money. Anybody can give her money, she will run behind him. Huh? She was like that. Imagine if she came in his life will be a mess. Huh? So sometimes Krishna knows what is good for anybody. Huh? So for his devotee, he will do best. Our life. So in this way, his activities are all Acharya Karmane. See, if you take a ball and throw on the wall, ball comes back to your hand. Correct, no? Similarly, karmis expect that I give this much input, I should get that much output. Or even little more output, but not less. Huh? They think like that. Whereas devotees know, on the other side, the wall is not there, Krishna is there. So when I throw a ball, Krishna may throw it back to me. Or if I throw a ball, he may keep it with him. Huh? He may pick the ball and keep it silently. And after some time, he may give back. Or he may not give at all. Huh? You may wonder, I gave input, why he didn't give? Because he's going to give himself to you. Huh? He says, Smarataha padakamalam atmanam api yachati. Huh? If somebody remembers his lotus feet, Krishna gives himself to the devotee. There is a song. Neelamegam pole irupan paadinalo nenjil vandu kudiyirupaan. கோலம் புல்லாங்குழலுரி கோபிகளை கள்ளமாடி கொஞ்சம் போல வினைதாடி என்று கேட்டு ஆட்டம் ஆடும் விஷமக்கார கண்ணன் விஷமக்கார கண்ணன். This is in Tamil. What he says, what he is saying, Neela Meham Pole means Krishna's color is like a bluish cloud, like a glistening blue cloud. Padinalo, if you sing his songs or chant his holy names, he will be attracted. He will immediately come to that place and he will look at the devotee. And the devotee is intensely, sincerely, seriously, inoffensively chanting. Then he will enter the heart of the devotee and make that devotee's heart his residence. Then he will make that heart, he loves to make the home in the heart of devotees. That's why we sing another song, no? Mama mana mandire rahane se de Krishna Murari Sri Krishna Murari Mama mana mandire rahane se de Krishna Murari, Krishna Murari, Bhakti Priti Vala Chandan, Tumi niyo hai niyo Chittanandan. Jivana Marana Tava Puja Niveda Sundara He Manahari Yasonanda Kumar Ananda Kumar Habe prema pradipe arati tomar Naya naya mona jare anivar Tomara virahe giridhare Vandanagane Tava Vadhu Deva Krishna Murari Sri Krishna Murari Tava Vadhu Deva Krishna Murari, Hare Krishna Murari, In this song, he is saying the same thing. Krishna, you are called Manohar, one who steals the heart of devotees, one who steals the mind and heart of devotees. So, Mama Mana Mandire. Raha. Raha means come and live in my mind. So that previous song which I told you, Neelamoham Pole, Neelameham Pole Irpan, Padinalu Nenjan the Kuripan. If you sing his songs or call his names lovingly, he comes and resides in your heart and makes the devotee's heart his home. And in the same manner, his activities are very beautiful because he plays on the flute so sweetly and charms the heart of all living beings. So he also charms the heart of living beings and makes them move towards him. And then when they become attracted to him and call his holy names lovingly, then he makes their heart his residence. Like that he says. So what was he saying prior to this? One step before that, after telling about Krishna's stealing and Krishna's running away from battlefield, what all I said after that is, before saying this, Neela Meham Pole Irpan, before that. Krishna will always, give only that which is good for you, which will not harm the devotee, which will not come in the way of the devotee returning back to Godhead. He will give what is right. Devotees have full faith in Krishna because when you throw the ball, if he is keeping it with him, that means he is going to give something better. He may take a wooden ball and give you gold ball. Possibility, correct, no? You may be shocked. I never expected. Sometimes once a devotee, out of 8 units, actually, each of this unit used to have, out of 8 units in our engineering days, we have to write 5 units only. We have to write in the exam. There'll be 8 questions, but you have to write any 5. You have to write. But this devotee studied only 5 because you have to write only 5, and he got sent down. In maths, other 3 units he never studied. Now somebody may say, how without studying he got sent down? Because he got exactly the questions that he wanted. It can happen or not happen. So he was a devotee. So Krishna said, okay, no problem. You studied only 5 units, take sent down. Can give. Exactly. So other fellows who put attention to study all the 8 units, they couldn't crack it. They got 90, 92. So Krishna can do any magic he can do. Any kind of. Like one of the devotees, he got placed in McDonald in those days. At that time, McDonald was giving him 7 lakh per annum. So he was having that praloban, attraction. How can I say no to this job? So he was even giving me justification, saying that, Prabhu, in the college, once you don't accept the job, no, you will not get the second one. I said, how are you telling me stories? If you don't accept a job, they'll give you another job. And even if you don't get any job, you pass out and then you apply as a fresher. Oh, no, Prabhuji, you are a brahmachari, you may not be aware. If you apply as a fresher, you will never get a job. I said, see, Prabhu, it is your choice, not my choice. I can only tell you the truth. You should not work in any company which breaks the 4 regulative principles. It's not good to serve in a company which is selling cigarettes or selling liquor or illicit sex or which is, meat eating and things like that. With great difficulty, he gave up the job, crying, practically crying. And the next 2 months, my Lord, I got so many mails. Every 2 days, I'll get a mail. Prabhuji, this fellow got a job. But he also got a job. All my friends got a job. Only I didn't get a job. And because you told me, I gave up the job. I said, my Lord. Actually, I said, put all these letters to Krishna directly. Because I only repeated what Krishna says in the scriptures. And after 2 months, he got a job, 10 lakh per annum. He couldn't believe. He couldn't believe. He said, Prabhuji, even the toppers didn't get such job in those days. Nowadays, people get what kind of package, But in those days, to get 10 lakh per annum was a big thing. 1 out of 400-500 boys may get in those days. And when he got that. Because in those days, salary was like that and cost of living was also accordingly like that. But nowadays, boys earn like anything. Monthly people earn 2 lakh, 3 lakh nowadays. So the idea is, because he was willing to sacrifice that job for Krishna's sake, then Krishna gave him another better job, correct? No? Yeah. So one should have full faith that Krishna, what Krishna is doing for me is for my good. He has some plan which is beyond my comprehension. Huh? I may not be able to understand why is he doing, what is he doing with me. Huh? So in this way, Krishna's form, Krishna's activities, Krishna's appearance in this world, if you can properly understand it, then Krishna says, Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti ameti. You can come back to me, he says. Actually, you can go back to him only if you properly understand him, correct? No? Without proper understanding, if you have misunderstanding about him, then you will go there and create a lot of trouble. Huh? Therefore, he tells Mahadev, take care of this fellow. Huh? Let him take some more lifetimes. Huh? Get a proper understanding and then come to me. So, and Krishna can be understood through the acharyas like Prabhupada and their writings and speeches. Otherwise, on our own, we cannot fathom him. So, although he may look like a small baby or he may look like a small boy, he has no limitations. Huh? He can do any kind of thing anytime. He can be a baby, he can be a boy, he can be a youth, he can be a man in any form. Huh? He is not limited by space and time. Huh? We are in this material world, we are limited by space and time. Like, for example, Lord Ramachandra, when he is leaving Lanka and coming to Ayodhya, all the monkeys wanted to travel with him. So Ram said, all of you sit in this swan carrier. Huh? That was a chariot kind of thing. All the monkeys sat, and the swan flew and brought them to Ayodhya. How can millions of monkeys fit? Huh? But for Lord, is there a limitation? No. In the tip of a needle, he can have 1,000,000 people if he wants. Correct, no? How? That you have to ask him only how he does. Huh? Like you see in a small CD-ROM, nowadays you can put 50,000 songs in a small CD-ROM, correct, no? Imagine, 3 decades before, if you told anybody, in one CD-ROM silicon chip, we can put 50,000 songs, they will say, what are you fooling? People may not believe that such things can happen, correct, no? But now science is advanced, now you can understand such things can happen, correct, no? Long before, when the button mobiles were there, at that time I saw some of the people, inventors, everybody, they were talking about, they were taking a table, and the table they were doing with their hands like this, move like this, how we can have a swapping this thing. What do you call it? Not swapping, I mean, uh, like when you, like in the smartphone you do, no? You want touch screen thing. At that time, touch screen was not there. I mean, later on, touch screen came. In those days, it was just like a concept. But later on, the concept became reality. You will see that. Because material energy is also very, very powerful. Because it is whose energy? Krishna's energy. Spiritual energy is far more powerful, but material energy is also powerful. So eventually those things came, smartphones came, many, many things came. Nowadays people just take the smartphone, what all they do, gimmicks with that. Do this, do that, so many things. Now, they want to make a cashless country because everything is like Paytm, ATM cards, everything has come, correct, no? Then we have this nowadays, you stand in front of a machine, in object identification machine, it sees you and then the door opens for you. Correct, no? Earlier you have to put the thumb. Now you don't have to put the thumb also. Just stand in the front, you can go. Now a new one is going to come, which can, it is actually called, like just like your Aadhaar card now, or your PAN card you have. Now in future, they are going to make a brain code. In America, there is one Krishna Prabhu in Boston. So he is a very, very highly intelligent scientist. He's initiated devotee. His initiated name is Krishnanand Prabhu. So he already did one service to India earlier, because the drug addicts and the drug peddlers, they used to send drugs into India. So how to catch those thieves? Because they do it in a very secret manner. So what he had done, one machine, for example, a drug pack comes to you. And then you are supposed to receive it. On the way, they tracked it. They stopped it. But they found out that you are the person going to receive it. So they will call you to the police station. And then they will show you the drug packet. When you look at it, whatever impression comes in your mind, that is captured by the machine. That means if you are the person who had ordered for it, and even though you may say, no, not me, they will show the record. because it directly goes to the root of the thought. Because if you, for example, if I have seen one of you, that impression is registered in the brain. I am seeing you second time. Huh? So what is the proof? When you see second time, the brain gives a history that this fellow has already seen this person before. And that is how they caught, drug peddlers. So he made a machine, very costly machine. Now he's making a second machine. He's saying that now Aadhaar card, PAN card, everything throw in the river. You don't need it anymore, he said. Why? Because once this machine comes, this will directly go to the brain. Every one of us have a brain just like identity. Huh? God has uniquely made your brain. So you just have to go and stand, that's all. Huh? They will know you cannot have any other identity, is not required. Nobody can cheat in this. It's very, very unique. So he said, once this comes, all these terrorists and all these people will be exposed completely. Huh? Nobody can do anything. Because it is beyond you. You cannot open your skull and do anything. You cannot change anything. So he was telling this will go for centuries, it can go. This kind of identity. Because Krishna has made many things unique. He has made your fingerprint unique. He's made your face cut unique. Then he has made brain this thing unique. Very amazing. And he has given brain to such people also to do this kind of things also. Correct? No? And material energy itself is very, very powerful. And spiritual energy, needless to say. Ultimately, he is the source of both the energies. Krishna. So, one has to properly understand Krishna before one can venture into his pastimes and activities. If you don't know the person only, then how are you going to appreciate his pastimes? We should be amazed by his personality. We should be, like in the Ishopanishad it is said, Saparyagat Shukramakayam Avranam Asnaviram Shuddham Apapaviddham Kavir Manishi Paribhu Swayambhu Yatha Tatyathortan Vyadadachashvatibhyas Samapyah. This verse says, Saparyagat Shukram Akayam Avranam. The Supreme Lord is omnipotent. And his body has no veins, it says. First it says Akayam. Akayam means he has no body. And Avranam. And his body has no veins, it says. Already you told no body only. Then how can there be veins, you may ask it. That means Akayam actually means not no body. Akayam means not a body like you and me. He does have a body, but that body has no veins or bones or flesh or intestines, small intestine, big intestine, kidney, liver, heart, brain. All these separate parts of the body inside are not there. Then what is inside? Inside and outside, it is all Satchidananda Swarupam. Imagine you take sugar powder and make one doll. Anywhere you pinch and put in the mouth, it will be sweet. Inside out, outside in, it is only sugar only, sugar and sweet. That's why he says, Madhuradi Pater, Akela Madhuram. He is the embodiment of sweetness. His whole body is Satchidananda Swarupa. It's not that in our body we have different parts. We say this is kidney, that is, liver, and his intestine, small and big, all those things. So, Shuddham, his body is completely Shuddham. No impurity inside. Asnaviram, Shuddham, Apapaviddham. Apapaviddham means the nature of his body is such that he can never commit sin. And if somebody commits sin but comes in contact with Krishna, he makes the sinful person sinless. That is his nature. Just like Mrigari came in contact with the holy name, became sinless. Ahilya came in contact with Lord Rama's lotus feet, became liberated. You will see that immediately. Sinful people become sinless by his contact, and he himself doesn't commit any sin because constitutionally his role is such that anything comes out of him is only love. Anything that comes out is only of benefit to others. Like for example, he's standing in the middle of Kurukshetra battle. He is organizing the battle and millions are being killed, but all are getting back to spiritual world. Hataha, Gataha, Swarupam, it is said. They all got their Swarupa and went back home, back to Godhead, simply by looking at Krishna. 2 verses say that. Another verse says, Parthastra Puta, Padam Apurasya. They all attained Param Padam. Why? Because Krishna was present. We don't talk about Battle of Panipat. We don't talk about World War I or World War II. Because whichever war Krishna is standing, that war is also of interest to us. Correct, no? Wherever Lord is present, Krishna is in Kamya Kavan, then Kamya Kavan is of interest to us. Wherever Krishna is, that's of interest. Because his presence makes the whole different game. Wherever he is present, that whole place becomes like spiritual world. He just puts his foot in a place and goes. That place can be worshipped as a tirthasthal, like in Vrindavan. Wherever, that's what gopis are saying. Jayati te dikam janmana vraja shrayata indira shashvadatrahi Gayata dreshyata Ekshutavakas Tvayedhratasavas Tvam vitinvate Anatadehina Papakarshanam Krinacharanugam Sriniketanam Panipanarpitam Te padambujam Krinakucheshunaha Prandihritshayam. So in this way, mountain of sins turn into powder by Krishna's dust of Krishna's lotus feet. And the same lotus feet are walking behind the cows and calves, leading them to the forest, herding them, just like an ordinary covered boy. How amazing it is. Absolute truth in his ultimate state. He is coming as a simple blue boy, herding the cows and calves, spending time with peacocks and monkeys and cows and calves and gopas and gopis, keeps himself utterly so simple. In my school days, my first attraction to Krishna came from one song. This is a song by one very famous poet called Subramanya Bharati. He wrote this song and you know what he says? Engirindo vandan idajadiyan endran engivanai nan perave Yenatavam செய்து விட்டேன் கண்ணன் எங்கிருந்தோ வந்தான். He's saying, in my life, I was running here, there, doing so many activities foolishly. But suddenly one young covered blue boy entered into my life. எங்கிருந்தோ வந்தான். I don't know where he came from. And ever since he came, I have become charmed by him. And I asked him, who are you? He said, I am a covered boy. He said, இடைச்சாது யான் என்றான். எங்கிவனை யான் பெறவே என்ன தவம் செய்து விட்டேன். What punya I have done in millions of lives that this personality came into my life, such a destitute like me, fallen person like me. And he is giving me his presence and his shade of his lotus feet. And he has accepted me in my life, he is saying. என்ன தவம் செய்து விட்டேன். Which means he indirectly is saying that if Krishna comes into somebody's life, that person is a most fortunate person. Actually, you can get many other forms. There are people worshipping Bhadrakali, there are people worshipping Shiva, there are people worshipping Ganesha, there are people worshipping, various forms of devatas. Even I was worshipping Shiva also. Before that, Devi also I was worshipping. And we didn't know who is who at that time. And later on, after all this worship, I got one big picture of Vishwarupa Darshan. It was so huge, like this picture you see, like this 6 times the size you see. That was the size. So I put on the wall in my room. Morning when I would get up from my bed, first time I'll offer obeisances to that form. Big form. I say, God, you're really great. You have millions of heads, millions of hands, millions of legs. Now, I felt God will be like this because such a big world he has created. All of us are like tiny ants in front of him. Like that. But from that understanding, to come to the point of understanding that the personality, Parthasarathi, he's the source of that form. Krishna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he's the one who, from whose body comes Vishwarupa. Then he shows the 400 form, and then he shows 200 form. And he becomes just a charioteer of Arjuna. That used to be always very surprising to me. If Krishna is God, then why should he not sit in the chariot and ask Arjuna to drive? Why is he driving himself? He is driving. Nobody could answer that question until I came to Prabhupada's books. I understood that. You understand in the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada explains, Achyuta means the Lord derives more joy in becoming subordinate to his devotees. And when his devotees order him out of love, Lord likes to fulfill their order. Very simply, is one of his millions of glorious qualities. Oh, then you can go from greatness to sweetness. So, in this way, in the Upanishads and the Puranas, eventually will bring us to the point of understanding the absolute truth, what is his nature. He's a raso vai saha. Taittiriya Upanishad says this. Raso vai saha rasam hi evayam labdva anandi bhavati. Raso vai saha, that Supreme Lord is a bhandar of rasas, loving exchanges with his devotees. And any jiva comes in contact with him, also starts feeling ecstasy. Ecstatic emotions arise in the heart of jivas who come in touch with him. Imagine there is a devotee with a with a vessel of Balaji laddu, and he is giving out one laddu to everybody, big laddu. There will be a big crowd, isn't it? Commotion around him, all around. Prabhuji, can I get one? Can I get one? Everybody extending. Yeah. So I was there just recently, Shadvi Gaurang Prabhu in Warangal. So I'd gone. The last day when I was about to leave, there was a big dabba with big laddus, very nice laddus. And it was fragrant also. Fragrant and tasty, exactly like Balaji taste. I don't know how they made like that. And everybody got a substantial laddu, one they got. I asked him, should I give little? He said, no, give one. He got so, and I was giving out, big crowd around me. So I was just thinking, Krishna is like a Ratsa Vigraha. So jivas come running to him and they get in touch with him and get ecstasy and go back and they are chanting and dancing. Because just like if somebody is touching, putting a hand in socket, fire is getting shocked. You touch him, you also get shocked. Then 10 people are touching each other, everybody gets shocked. Similarly, that's parampara. Our acharyas are connecting with Krishna and they are getting ecstasy from Krishna and we are drawing from them. And we distribute it and then it spreads everywhere. So in this way, the personality of Krishna has to be first understood to some degree before we enter into these pastimes. Because there is one book called as Krishna Samhita, which he wrote, our Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So in that book, I'll show you what he says. See what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. See, generally, in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's time, people are thinking that why this topic of Krishna Leela, children, the pastimes of Krishna. Goal is not to just keep children calm by seeing some little Krishna pastimes, comics. We will go in sufficient depth. So the TV serials are made for entertainment, not for purification. So most of the speakers, they stress on this butter stealing pastime or Ras Leela because small children and young girls both are attractive for the people. For young boys, young girls are attractive. And for grown-up people, married people, old people, for them, children are attractive. So therefore, many people actually speak this pastime. Even the kathakars, you go to Vrindavan also many times, 40, 50 kathas go on during the Kartik month. Many people speak. So many people may speak. Some are authorized and some are not. So what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says here, you see, read it, one of you. Why not Ras Leela?
Not everyone is qualified to not everyone is qualified to read the daily pastimes of Radha and Krishna. It is esoteric knowledge of great wonder which must be kept secret. The devotee should not let those who are not qualified hear this topic. As long as the soul has not attained greed for the spiritual world on the path of raga,
Raga means spontaneous love. Yeah.
the description of these pastimes be kept hidden from him.
That's like, for example, before calculus comes, you have to learn algebra. Correct, no? Once I was in my seventh standard, and I was little curious to know, how the 12th standard book is. Huh? I just got the 12th standard book, and it was all in elongated S, huh? Integral yes, huh? Big one, huh? Two or three, like this, like tails. Huh? So I was shocked. I told my father, Papa, and maths is a very tough subject, I told him. My father is a maths teacher, so he asked, Beta, what makes you think maths is tough? I said, you see, I saw the 12th book which you're teaching to boys, huh, on your table. It was shocking. Huh? He said, who told you to see it? Huh? You are in 6th standard. You should see only 7th standard. Huh? Then you see 8th. Then you see 9th. Huh? Then you will understand. So you have to go through, levels. That's what he's saying. As long as you have not developed greed for attaining Krishna, then you won't understand this. As long as the person has no realization of the pure spiritual nature of the transcendental name, form, qualities, pastimes of Krishna, there's no qualification for hearing this pastimes. Read this.
Hearing these pastimes, the unqualified person will simply meditate on material relationships of male and female under the influence of Maya, and by this he will become degraded. The reader, with great care, should attain initiation into the Shangara Rasa like Narada, and then he can enter the pastimes. Otherwise, material logic will cast the heart into darkness. Those who are qualified should read and meditate on the descriptions of the pastimes daily. This will remove all sins and bestow the spiritual mood.
Yeah, and then there is Nitya Lila in the spiritual world. In the material world, there is a Naimittika Lila. Huh? And then Prabhupada says, Sahajas like Raslila, but they don't talk about Krishna's fight with the demons. Huh? Like Narasimha killing Hiranyakashipu, because they only want to enjoy. Huh? So Krishna didn't have to take big form like Narasimha, never used any weapon. You will see when Krishna does this childhood pastimes. And so Prabhupada says that all Krishna's pastimes should be studied. His pastime in Kurukshetra, where he is teaching Bhagavad Gita. And then his pastimes in Vrindavan. Because Kurukshetra pastimes are greatness. And Vrindavan pastimes talk about sweetness. Before sweetness, you have to go to greatness. Yeah. How great a person is. Mhm. Yeah. So, you see, the 18 demons are explained in Krishna Samhita by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains beautifully that our heart is also like Vrindavan. Huh? Just like there is real Vrindavan in Delhi, near Delhi, our heart is also like Vrindavan. In the real Vrindavan, the demons come and go, correct, no? Demons come and they're killed by Krishna and liberated. Like Putana came, then Trinavarta came, then Shakatasura came, and then Trinavarta came. And then there was also, Agasura, Bakasura, and Keshi, and Arishtasura, so many others like that. Similarly, these demons come in our heart also. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Krishna Samhita very precisely talks about which demon coming in Krishna Lila represents what demon in our heart. When this book came, this became so famous. Huh? Many educated people in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's times, they started very much appreciating Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because before that, they were thinking that these pastimes are only for children, they were thinking. Huh? They didn't know that. These pastimes have so much of depth. Each of the pastimes, whatever Lord does, it has a deep meaning. Actually, you will find in every Leela, there is a sweetness side and greatness side. Like Kaliya Dama Leela, if you see, above Kaliya's hoods, Krishna is dancing and Devatas are showering flower, Apsaras are dancing, and And Gandharvas are also playing instruments. Gopas, gopis are all enjoying. Everybody is relishing that. But below Krishna's lotus feet, somebody was getting purified also. Who was that? Kaliya. Similarly, in the Govardhan Leela, above the mountain, somebody was getting purified. And below the mountain, no. It said, no, Rasaraj under Giriraj. So Rasaraj was holding Giriraj. And there a lot of leelas are going on. So Krishna, that is sweetness. And above the mountain, Lord was showing his greatness. So Krishna can do many things in one shot, simultaneously. How he is purifying. Any of you think about it, you have to chastise somebody, you are angry. Simultaneously, can you smile also? How difficult it is. Because anger and happiness, they don't go together. But in Krishna, it's possible. Here is enjoying nice sweet pastimes with Ujbasis under the mountain. And there he is punishing Indra also. Very coolly. How many everything is combining is little difficult here. Correct, no? It's not difficult, impossible. When you are angry, look at your face in the mirror. How you look. Everybody is frightened. Yeah. At the same time, he is enjoying pastimes. That goes to show how much he is detached. Very amazing. Similarly, he is on one hand, Adbhutam. I showed you that dance. You remember that? The Kaliya Daman Leela. You know that there's some famous word. This is the word. Yachachiro namatenga shataika shirshnas. Tattan mamar dakhara danda darongripatai. Kshina yusho brahmata ulbanamasya tosrang. Nasto avaman paramakashmalamapanaga. What is the meaning of that? You see here. See, whichever Shira, the Kaliya was lifting, whichever head he lifted up. Na namate. He won't bow down, but he wanted to bite Krishna. What he did? Shatayeka Shirshnaha. Out of 1,000 hoods, 101 were prominent hoods. Tat mamarda khara danda dara angripatai. That particular head Krishna jumped over. And then he put his foot on that particular hood. And then he pressed it. In this way, blows of his feet. He gave a blow on those heads. And Kaliya, and he subdued Kaliya. If Krishna subdues this head, then this one he will raise. Then he will jump on that one. And then another one he will raise. He tried different things. Then he understood raising is dangerous. Because whichever head you raise, what he does? He jumps on that. So, and he's jumping, and even the jumping and along with that. I'll show you that person.
Madhusudana Hari Sammadana Taka Tadinidiya Taka Takitanaga Jagadruga Jaganand Takanaka Jagadruga Jaganandam
Yamuna Tataka Tunga Tarangam Himakaras Timitaramita Shubhangam Itastataschara Karuna Pangam Yadivara Hridaya Saroruha Bringam
Dinatillana Drugutakitillana
Tilaka Sindura Halaka Shringara Vadana Gambira Uragapana Sanchara Nanda Sukumara Namanita Dadichora Chandamanihara Jalajabhavanata Dira
Nanda Sukumara Navanita Dadichora Chandamanihara Jalajabhavanata Dira Jaya Vijayi Bhavananda Kumara Brajajana Paramananda Kishora Kaliya Natanananda Gambhir Karuna Rasayuta Bhava Sharira
Ding Tatam Tadim Kumara Mahimalan Krita Manamala Dunandara Krita Kritakara
Tajam Tattakajam Tattakannum Tattakarrum Tattajam Tattakajam Tattakannam Tattakarrum
Takujanam Tarita Takujanam Tarita Janam Tarita Dimita Kita Janu Takujanam Tarita Takujanam Tarita Janam Tarita Dimita Kita Janu
Adbhutanartana Chitrita Mudrita Vidyuta Mudbhavam Adbhutam
Takujanam Tarita Takujanam Tarita Janam Tarita Dimita Kita Janu
Adbhutanartana Chitrita Mudrita.
Nice, no? You saw that? You saw how he is subduing Kaliya on one hood. So his activities are very marvelous. The way he is giving pleasure to his devotees and also purification for the demons also. Simultaneously. It was very amazing. I can take some question for 5-10 minutes. Anybody? Any questions? You may wonder, Prabhuji showed a slideshow, he never started. What but first you have to understand the background first. Sometimes people ask, Prabhuji, what is further in the slide? You are just showing only the first slide. Once in Pune, his only Rompad Maharaj came. He said, I'm going to speak on the Ambarish pastime and Durvasa Muni. So he put a slideshow and even children came and sat in the front. Everybody wanted to see what is the slideshow. And the slideshow had only 2 slides only. The first slide is, Durvasa Muni creating the demon to kill Ambarish. And the second one, Durvasa Muni running away and, going to Vishnu Loka and chased by this thing. Later on, I went to Maharaj's room. I told Maharaj, everybody thought they are going to show you a big slideshow. It was only the smallest slideshow I have ever seen in the world. Only 2 slides. Maharaj said, oh, if you are hearing a pastime along with the picture, then your mind gets absorbed in that. That's the purpose of that picture. Otherwise, I didn't feel a big need for a very big slideshow, he was telling. So, this pastime I will tell in the next class when I come back. But now we can take some questions if anybody wishes to ask. Where is the mic? There's a hand up. Please give it.
Hare Krishna, bro. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Right.
I have 2 questions. First, you told that the Lord's body is transcendental, but we see many times that in that 10th canto, 2nd chapter also, where the birth is shown, appearance is shown. So he was transferred from heart to Devki's heart and then into the womb. That's why her body started glowing.
That I'll show you. Then I'll show you the 10th canto just now. The chapter which you are saying, I'll show you from there.
10th canto, 2nd chapter.
It's called as Garbhastuti.
Yes.
This one, yeah. Here, see this one. Read that.
One is here forbidden to think that Krishna was begotten by Vasudeva within the womb of Devaki, that she carried the child within her womb. So that is fine.
Written, and then one more I'll show you. Quote. The same. If you go below, what Veera Raghavacharya says, I'll show you here. So you can read this portion. Read this one.
Commenting upon this verse, Sri Veer Raghavacharya writes, Vasudev Devki Jathayor Hridayor Bhagavata Sambandha. The Supreme Lord's entrance into the womb of Devki from the heart of Vasudeva was a heart-to-heart relation. Okay, so basically, Krishna lived in the womb of Devaki, so it was a transcendental thing. It was like, but it was not like ordinary we people living in the womb. But again, there comes many places like Draupadi put cloth on fingers of Krishna
showed,
because
blood.
It was blood. So his
and
body
Krishna
was
shows
also
blood even in the battlefield of Kurukshetra while fighting with Bhishma. And Bhishma is delighting in that because he is a Kshatriya. And the Kshatriyas, imagine, for example, Bhishma is sending arrows on Arjuna and Krishna. And Krishna says, I'm sorry, Bhishma, I have Sachidananda in the body. I cannot, release any blood. Although I want to enjoy Veera Rasa, but unfortunately I cannot show. As you see, my limitation. Lord says, how ridiculous it will be. For the sake of Leela, then Krishna has to display that. Okay. So, for example, once we were doing one drama for our youths. We had taken them for one Vrindavan Yatra we had taken. There were 300-400 youths were there. And then there were there is one very intelligent actor, devotee, Karuna Gaurang Prabhu, currently is in America now. So that devotee acted as Shurpanaka. And he's a very good speaker and actor and dramatist also. So he acted as Shurpanaka. So when Ram tells Lakshman that Lakshman, because this demoness is trying to attack Sita, it is very dangerous. Please do the needful. Make sure that she will not attack Sita.
Mhm.
And immediately Lakshman takes the bow and arrow, correct now, and then he hits the ears and the nose, correct now. So they had actually had a bow and arrow, and one devotee was doing exactly, it went touch the nose, like that. And then our Shurpanaka, she touched the nose and said, ah! Like that she shouted. And the nose became red and started pouring also. Blood. So many people in the audience got shocked. They immediately ran to the stage. Prabhuji, yeah, what happened? They thought really nose has got hurt because the arrow also went. Then he ran to the green room. I also ran to see what exactly happened. So he said, no, Prabhuji, there is nothing in the nose. In my hand, I had kept the red thing. They had given me. I touched like this, that many people didn't notice it. They touched it. So he displayed it in such a way that audience really believed that, that something has happened to his nose. Because drama has to be as real as possible, correct, no? So in the same manner, in Lord's pastime, in Virya-rasa, especially Virya-rasa, if Lord has to display his blood drops and perspiration drops, he can do that. That is in which Shakti? It's in Bahiranga Shakti or Antaranga Shakti? Antaranga Shakti. In Antaranga Shakti, Lord can do such kinds of things. Like, for example, when our Satyabhama's father dies, Satyajit, everybody is thinking that now we have to arrange for his cremation. But Satyabhama says, no. How can you cremate the body when Krishna is not here? Krishna is out of station. He had gone out and the news was reached to Krishna. And Satyabhama wanted to cry to Krishna that, look at my father, he has passed away. He was murdered by that Shatrudanva, correct, no? So she can... Who? Correct. Yeah, he had taken money and then... So he stole the money from him. So she kept the body in this one, what do you call it? In the scented oils and all, to keep it fragrant and everything. So when Krishna heard the news, he knows psychology of Satyabhama. Satyabhama is a little strong-natured person. So he knew that if I have to satisfy her, then she will want to see me cry for her father. Correct, no? If I just go and say, hey, Satyabhama, be patient, don't worry. In this world, everybody has to pass. Then she will get angry. She will say, now, how can you say this? My father is so dear to me, is it not true? So when Krishna came, he came running and saw her father's body and started crying so loudly. He started beating his chest and crying. Even Satyabhama felt pity. Seeing him cry like this, and she pacified him and said, okay, don't feel so. I was also like you only. She said, when I saw him last. So Krishna exactly is empathic. Empathic? See? This fellow is thinking it is
9.
9. That fellow is thinking it is 6. Because they both are seeing from whose angle? Their angle. So empathy means what? You are willing to go to the other side and see from their angle. Correct, no? That is called empathy. Or able to feel the feelings what others are feeling. That is empathy. Krishna can do that exactly. We will see that when Krishna returned back, he knew that the best thing that will satisfy Satyabhama is that I have to cry now. I think artificially for us to cry is very difficult, isn't it? Krishna can't do anything. He cried. And then that crying was what she wanted to see. Who? Satyabhama. Yes. And now she was satisfied that okay, now Krishna has seen my father, now it can be cremated after that. Because for many people, like for example, if you get the best things in your life and worst things that happen in your life, you will want to share it with someone who is very close to you. Correct, no? Say you got first rank in the, like centum you got in maths. Immediately think about it. Whom will you first call? Your mother or father, correct, no? You say, Papa, can you guess what mark I got in maths? They will say, how much better? You got 90? You say, no, I got centum. Huh? So the best things in your life and also the worst things happen to your life because you need support from them. You call. So in Satyabhama's life, for her, losing father was the worst thing. It happened. And she wanted someone like Krishna to give her assurance that I am here, don't fear. Huh? So therefore she wanted him. And Krishna, understanding her need, he acted exactly empathically. So in different relationships, Krishna acts. Huh? Now somebody may say, how can Krishna cry? You say Krishna is God, what is the God is crying, Yeah. And then you need to know what is rasa. Huh? Some people are niras. Huh? So they can, like the Vedantist, for example, the Vedantist, they just cannot understand what is rasa, although Taittiriya Upanishad explains about that. So rasas are explained in the literature, but rasas are beyond the Brahman platform. Huh? It's not enough to have Shanti. Huh? In the higher platforms, the Lord becomes subordinate to his devotees, he cries, he may display, like he was asking, he may display some droplets of blood if he wants, droplets of tears if he wants. He can show even droplets of perspiration from his transcendental body in order to enhance the sweetness of the pastime. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhuji. My second question is little bit out of context from this class, if you allow. Recently, we have seen attack on ISKCON temples in Bangladesh. How devotees should respond on to this?
Yeah. Actually, not many temples. Only one is
Dhaka
temple,
temple.
Maharpur.
Dhaka temple.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, Dhaka temple is a old story. That time vandalizing Dhaka temple. That's a very old thing. The recent thing is Maharpur.
Maharpur, yes, is Maharpur.
See, one thing is our dear friend Pandit Gadadhar Prabhu. I met him. So, he was telling that because they are minority there, every temple has made some kind of security systems for the protection of the deities, for the protection of the devotees, and for the protection of the Lord's property and everything. For example, the cash will not be in the temple. Everything is in the bank. So nobody can loot the cash. And costly items will not be kept in the temple. Everything will be kept. They will keep very, very simple things. Even if thieves come inside also and see, they will not have many things to steal there. And that is how they are keeping the temples also. Basic thing. They may sometimes burn or they may throw stones, break the glasses, do some damage. And also devotees are trained also there that as soon as there is a little news about there's a possibility also of anything breaking out, immediately devotees are sent to other places, faraway places where they'll be more safe. Especially people who should go to cities. Because cities are relatively more safer compared to the villages, other places where people live in minority. Plus, they also keep sufficient stock of food and everything within the campus, and they close all the doors, windows, everything. It's locked inside. Deity room also, they have very thick doors, you lock it properly. Yeah. So deities are protected, devotees are protected. The vandalizers can come and throw tantrums, shout, yell, throw some stones and go back. That's all they will get. They can't do much. But some temples, even after being told also, they may not make security systems thinking that it is all right. Like you may be knowing now Kali temple, the gate was simply like a fiberglass kind of thing. I saw that video. When mob comes to attack, when they can just easily push and break the gate. And when they went inside, because the security systems are poor, then they can create some damage there to either deities. And devotees, generally, they try to beat the devotees. Generally, they don't kill many people. They may beat, tap, and many devotees run away also when they are beaten also like that. And it is not in multiple. ISKCON temple is only one, but there are other Hindu temples, maybe 8, 9 temples. Total of around 8 or 10 temples. And many times temples have financial issues. So they are not able to make proper security systems, correct? No? So if we make proper security systems for devotees and deities, the mob does not have a brain. Huh? Mob is actually sent by somebody. Some andayata andair, upaniyamana, tepisha tantriyam, pradamni patta. Blind leading the blind and all falling into ditch. They are such kind of people. But there were also Muslims who were stopping. In Navakali video, if you see, there are Muslims who are stopping Muslims also. They said, don't do this. They are also living in our country. We are living. That means there are extremists, there are moderates. All kinds of people are there. Not everybody is same. And some people are fanatical. They say, we live and you perish. We flourish and you perish. This mentality they have. But in India, Sanatana Dharma's attitude is live and let live. Our country allowed all cultures to come. But some people may not be having that broad-minded attitude. Correct now? So, therefore, living in a country like that, see the recent episode, I have made a little research on the ChatGPT question answer. I found out. I sent you. It's there with Aksaman Prabhu. You can see that. Actually, it is not Hindu-Muslim thing. It is basically the youths who are not getting jobs. In those days, the jobs were very nicely planned. But over the years, there has been economic crisis, job crunch, everywhere is happening, unemployment and everything. So recently she announced one policy for the freedom fighters in 71 or something like that. For them, some 30% quota. How much? 50%. When she announced it, that caused one big uproar. That caused one very big uproar. Because others thought that what will happen to us? How will we survive? We will be laid off from the job and others will get job. The Prabhupada says many times within a country, if a quarrel comes, that is due to mismanaged supply of grocery and oil and sugar and all these things, vegetables, fruits, everything, mismanaged supply. And another thing is unemployment. So we have to be very careful. When Prithu Maharaj became king, the first thing he did was Varnashrama. Make sure that every person in the country is engaged in Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra job and they get their food supply. Roti, kapda, makan is very fundamental. If you don't arrange for that, then Sheikh Hasina, she has been around and she has been a very balanced person, having good relation with India also. But unfortunately, in the planning of job opportunities for the people, survival of the people, there has been some lacuna and she has been postponing, and that led to an uproar. Because, for example, you will see that devotees also become very angry when the prasadam is not ready. Or sometimes you take them to yatra and tell them, Prabhu, lunch was supposed to be at 1 o'clock, now we'll give you at 4 o'clock. Many will get upset. So Prabhupada says, once prasadam is good, devotees are ready to adjust with everything else. Prabhupada says, Vaaki kuch bhi chalega. Fan is not there, we can adjust, no problem. Sweating a little bit, no problem. Prasad, no. That's a very important thing. So food, clothing, shelter is very vital. So I found out that the youths who are protesting are not only Muslims or Hindus, it's all kinds of people. Especially the job holders and jobless people. They are the ones who started the protest, walking towards Dhaka. Many of them protested. And then now taking advantage of this situation, some mob may also do some rioting also. Because some people say that Bangladesh should be only for them and not for any other minorities. And this kind of torture of the minorities is not only there all across the globe. In India also, our current Prime Minister is a very balanced personality. He gives special attention to minorities and makes sure that, of course, minorities are not going to be tortured, but minorities can be neglected. But he is giving them also attention because he is following the Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu kind of blueprint. He is following. Therefore, India is quite peaceful in that sense. India, although there may be some Cold War amongst the people of different religion in India, he has kept it under control by providing because the food, clothing, shelter is good, people are employed. And now, therefore, a few years ago, he started the Skill India. He said that everybody cannot become IT engineer. You need to have skills from 7th, 8th standard, ITIs and skill centers are increasing like anything in India nowadays. and they're promoting them, and they're giving like NGO, they're giving money and everything. So it's a duty of every leader, even in a voice centers also. If you keep our boys without any service, they will be the headache creators. You will see that. Somebody, because our mind and senses require engagement. Idle man's mind is a that's a problem. Hmm. When machines came in villages, the tractor started doing what 100 farmers can do, 100 bulls can do. It's a machine, no? Very, very fast. Then what happened? The bulls were sent to starter house. And the farmers became, jobless. I mean, they had no work for the farmers. Everything is done by machines. Then they started playing cards. Then they started gambling. Then they started forming political parties and fighting within the village. Because a lot of time, something they're catching another man's wife, full, and they are opening cinema theaters. They're opening liquor shops because some activity that jiva requires. And there are a minority of the village people who may be going to temple and doing bhajan, kirtan, hearing Ramayana. Not everybody may do that, correct? No? Or there may not be that facility there. ISKCON type of temple may not be there. So then people, yesterday we were hearing Lakhimpur, is it? Lakhimpur, huh? Lakhimpur yesterday. So one of our devotees went there and started activities there. And now there are 100 people, right? Sunil Mukund Prabhu, correct, no? He is there, yeah. So like that, we need one Sunil Prabhu in every village. Huh? Isn't it? Then people will not go for drinking, smoking, card playing, all those things. So man removed the bulls from the field. He sent the bulls and cows to the slaughterhouse, and farmers became jobless. So right now, it is a question of mismanagement. So Muhammad Yunus has come now, correct now. He's an old man, he's 80 plus now. But he was already doing some good work before. But then she had some allegations about him, complaints. I heard that for lakhs and lakhs of people he has given jobs in those days. He created at one time. He's a Nobel laureate also. So now they are hoping that he will bring about order. But last 2 days, there is no problem there. Everything has subsided because people are hopeful now that he will do something. See, if there is an uproar, social uproar, the main uproar is mainly because on the basics, you should not throw sand. On privileges, yes, you can curtail. But on the basic things, imagine, for example, you don't have a good cook in the voice. You tell the boys, Prabhuji, except Prasad, we have everything else. We have very nice study room. We have very nice. If you do that, they will say that, Prabhuji, better we go out and eat, they will say. They will say, we'll just chant Hare Krishna and take whatever we get outside. And I had told our devotees in Pune also, the cook should have a fragrant hand. Because if the prasadam is attractive, they will never want to eat outside. Correct, no? But if the prasadam is not so attractive, then they become morose. They feel that better eat outside and, pray to Krishna to forgive us. Isn't it? So, prasadam has to be sumptuous and it has to be delicious. So, India also, as soon as unemployment increased in India, our PM immediately his antenna was on. He became very alert in India. Why? There are so many opportunities he's creating for the village women, for the men, for the engineers, for, illiterate men. Many, many things he's doing. And he's bringing many of the Vedic things back also. If you are going to do rural preaching and, you adopt villages and you will get a lot of support. There is a lot of government NGOs. We heard that the government has crores of rupees, but unfortunately they don't have trustworthy men to whom they can give the money and be assured that the money will be reaching to the right people. Therefore, it's ISKCON's duty that we produce, many, many, many devotees who are trustworthy fellows, and then they can start NGOs which will be, and the NGO has a twin advantage. You can actually provide for the needs of the people on one hand. Achutamanpu is considered a genius in this. From Pune also and Hyderabad also, many are in touch with him. So the NGOs can, actually, ISKCON is the kind of marvelous activities ISKCON is doing. ISKCON should be given 100% support by government, because we are producing boys who are of very high character, and boys who are well behaved, boys who are focused in their material duties and spiritual duties, boys who treat women like mother. But unfortunately, many of our activities go on in the name of devotional activities. But now, only in the recent last 4 or 5 years, country has started recognizing that these fellows are distributing a lot of prasad. Like in Attapur, two very big activities they do in Hyderabad. One is the prasadam distribution and book distribution. These two are the main activities. Many, many big millionaires, billionaires are coming to the temple now, seeing the activities they are donating now. So, in this way, the NGOs can satisfy the people with the basic needs, plus then people are willing to also, open their minds and hearts to receiving spiritual touch also. There is one Anamrit devotee in Pune, Shwetadev Prabhu, very intelligent devotee. He has a very smart methods of combining material spiritual. Therefore, Bhagavatam also says, Mangalani cha Mangalaya cha Bhutanam, Kshemaya cha Bhavaya cha. Three things are said. Bhavaya means material welfare. Kshemaya means liberation from miseries. Mangalaya means Krishna Prem. So all three are important. All right, Prabhu?
यस प्रभु, बस मतलब इसमें यही था कि जैसे टेम्पल्स तोड़े जाते हैं, थोड़ा डिवोटीज के मन में गुस्सा और थोड़ा उस वजह से उसको
Actually, what happened? The same thing, the Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra deities, they show, and the bottom portion is little burnt, they can repair it, they will do that. They repeatedly show, and sometimes some people are inciting the Hindus. Temple, their temple, only one temple only, not too many there. And the news is coming every day also. There are two people you can consider. One is Hare Prabhu is one, our All India ICC in charge, and Yudhishthir Prabhu is our communication. They are in regular touch with devotees. I also talked to one or two devotees there. They are all safe and protected now. But this uproar is actually a different kind of thing. It is not like the one which happened in Durga Puja time. It happened before. Bangladesh attack happened. It's not like that. That was actually religious riot between two groups. Whereas this is not actually a religious riot. It started for something else. So now this is creating a disturbance across the globe also. If people are a little fearful now, I think the situation will settle in a few days properly, I think. As far as devotees are concerned, I feel that in such situations, devotees, Revati Puthu and Antatiku were supposed to go to Bangladesh same time. We canceled the ticket, they didn't go this time. So one should not travel to such places, which are disturbed places. Is one thing we should learn. And also in our own areas where we are living, there should be some plan and system of protection for the devotees and the deities. Even if some mob attacks, temple should have that type of protection mechanism. Actually, long before, in Aurangzeb's time, in 1600s, 1700s, you see, yearly, in 1 century, at least there is one major attack they have done. Like Somnath temple, many times. So almost maybe around 28, 30 times. They repeatedly tried to build, repeatedly it was destroyed. Repeatedly built. Now our Prime Minister invested a big money now. Somnath temple is beautifully built, 10 times better than what it was before now. Just like Ayodhya is built now. It's a very good times now. Actually, we may say that let Hindus have our temples, that Muslims have their mosques, that Christians have their churches. That is the nature of Sanatana Dharma. Let everybody worship God in the way they can recognize Him and understand Him. We are very broad-minded, but then there are other fellows who are not so broad-minded. In their side, the 5 kings who followed one after other, even amongst them there was different. Like if you see Babur, Humayun, Akbar, Aurangzeb, Jahangir, first one. Jahangir is the first one. So some of these fellows were die-hard fanatics. They said they either convert or die. That kind of people. But the other people, they said that this country has given us freedom to come and stay here. Then let us do some good for these people also. And let us also do our own thing also. So some of them were like that. That's why I told you there are extremists and there are moderates. What to do? All kinds of people are there in this world now. Similarly, in Hindus also there are extremist moderates also. There are Hindus who say that Everyone on the other side is bad. There are people like that. When I spoke that lecture on Bangladeshi attacks last time, some people protested also. Hey, Prabhuji, how can you say there is any element of good on the other side? There cannot be any good. Huh? There were people like that. But you will find in every group, both types of people are there. Even in our freedom struggle also in India, there were also extremists and moderates. Yeah, so there are both types of people. I think something in between should be there, huh? Between extremism and moderateness. Huh? Because Gandhi was this extreme and Subhash Chandra Bose was that. Huh? So actually, Subhash formed his INA, Indian National Army, to protect the country, which was very appropriate purposes. Because Gandhi was showing non-violence to our British people. These people have no knowledge. Huh? They're ignorant fools. If Gandhi said, just go and stand in front of them and say that we will do a satyagraha. Purpose, it won't work. They will shoot you. They will kill you. They will not understand. So you have to show, your muscle power to people. Now, in the same manner, between religions, when riots come, how do you show your muscle power? We have to protect ourselves. Our religion always teaches us first, keep a protective mechanism. Like our Pandavas never attacked the Kauravas. They always, are defending themselves in multiple situations. Unnecessarily, we don't want to harm others. Therefore, we have to make an arrangement everywhere that, like all of you boys also, never travel in dark in the early morning or late night. Never travel. There was one boy, not our devotee. He belonged to Ritvik group, HKM group, I think. He was, that boy studied in NITK and he joined the Ritvik group. But the morning he was coming in the station, he came at about 3:34 by train or something. He took a bike and he was coming, traveling to his temple, Ritvik temple, I think. So on the way, he was looted and he was slapped and beaten and thrown into a pond. So everybody was searching, and at last they found his body. He died dead in the pond. After 3 days, it was located. The looters not only looted him, but also they took away his laptop and took away his smartphone, everything, and they killed him and put him in this thing because he was traveling in dark alone. So sometimes for Mangalarti, some families used to come to Kunjaberi temple. We have told them that you should come in. Therefore, recently Shyam Hari Prabhu told me that he has a congregation of 160 people. He takes to Kanchipuram because Kanchipuram is awake at 3 o'clock in the morning. The whole roads have thousands of people going early morning, 3 o'clock. Therefore, he conducts camps for his couples there. Because we have a early morning program. So in a place where a lot of people are moving, you also should be always there in such a place. Never, if you are going on a lonely road, whether you are a man or a woman, it is immaterial, it's risky nowadays. It's not very safe. Because many jobless fellows are becoming chain snatchers. And you may not have a chain, you may have a laptop or a, smartphone. One fellow was working at a laptop in the computer, in the train, and he put it in the back and kept it below the seat. Just kept it below and went to sleep. Morning, he didn't find it. Because some thief's eye is watching, it is keeping. Therefore, you have to always lock it. How many of you don't lock your laptop when you go in the train? You don't lock your laptop. You just keep it. You are innocent, correct, no? There are some hands up. In those days, Murari Prabhu's whole bag was stolen, because it was not locked. It was kept below. Somebody thinks, very good bag, lot of items are there, take it. बाद में देखेंगे क्या अंदर बाद में take it. So you have to be careful. You always be in a crowded place. Station also when you're sitting. If it is a remote time, sit in a place where if you shout, somebody will come to help. Correct, no? Yeah. These are some things we can learn from these things. Some lessons we can learn. Like, when there is no problem in our temples, that is the time to plan for security and everything. Suddenly, and also it's very important to be in good touch with the police station nearby by cultivating them, and very important to keep in touch with the army also. In Pune, we are in battalion, so the army is next door, and soldiers keep coming regularly to Camp Temple. Many soldiers come and bow down. Many brahmacharis are cultivating them, giving them Mahaprasad. Many are friends also. So cultivating army people and police people, DSP, not only the chota mota police people, the top people. Yeah. Yeah. DSP just calls and says, go to the temple, immediately big crowd of police will come in a very short time. It's very important cultivating those people. Sometimes Gaurang Prabhu takes like 200, 300 of them to Mayapur for a 2-day trip. Huh? It's very good to take them. They all come by flight to Calcutta. Calcutta to Mayapur, you have to arrange cars for them, good cars. Then Mayapur, take them around, feed them nice prasad, and morning program they watch. They don't need big lectures. Short lecture about protection, administration, welfare, which is the duty of a Kshatriya. Correct, no? You talk more about that, how the kings gave protection, administration, welfare to people. In this way, you educate them something from Shastra, send them back, and they get sold out. Huh? After that, they are so helpful because they have a lot of controls in their hands. They just make one phone call, so much help you will get. So I heard somebody is cultivating here. Yesterday I heard who is, huh? It's very good. Every ISKCON temple should have at least one devotee engaged in this cultivation. Very important. Because now, if a mob attacks, for example, how much our brahmacharis, even if you learn little karate or kung fu, huh? How much you can attack back? Huh? Because they come in a big group. Correct, no? So therefore, if you just call the police and the police comes and does the firing and everything, then the mob will run away. Huh? So we definitely should know small methods of protection. Some education should be there for the Hindus, for the devotees. At the same time, we need uh, arrangements like that. If arrangements are made, then it is perfect. Actually, in my heart, I feel that every religious person, God-fearing person, deserves to be protected. Not only I'm telling about Hindus, whether it is Muslim or Christian or Hindu or Sikh. See, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a very big, thousands and thousands of people doing this chanting and dancing in Ramkeli. Huh? And Nawab Hussain Shah did not take any action. No. But when Guru Gobind Singh or Arjan Dev or this kind of people, they used to always travel with 5,000 people. Huh? But they used to travel in horses and they used to wear a kingly type of dress also. They had this sword also. So they were considered by Muslims as a great threat to their existence in India. Huh? Because they thought that they can turn into a army which can attack them also. Huh? So, but Lord Chaitanya's people, they thought that these people are mostly chanting, dancing. They don't carry weapons. Huh? And they are targeting going back home, back to Godhead. So they were not so much protesting, except some very envious people like Kazi who stopped our Sankirtan and Navadviv. Later on, that also Lord Chaitanya settled with him also. Correct? Na? Yeah. Because our Hare Krishna movement is considered as very, very harmless movement and very friendly people with all religious people. Already there is a good name across the globe. We are not enemy to anybody. Huh? That sense. That is why they have no reason to attack ISKCON. In our heart, what is our attitude towards them? Not everybody is like that. Huh? In that group also, there are very, very simple people also. Huh? Very simple, very faithfully practicing. Like I was taking medicine from Muslim in Bangalore in those days. Unani medicine he was giving. Almost for a period of 1.5 years or so. Every Tuesday, this Muslim, he will personally cook in a khichdi, offer it to Allah, and then he'll distribute to people. 200 people, 300 people. And I asked him, how do you get donation for this? He said, I put it from my money. Huh? He said, our dharma says that we should spend money for God. Huh? Very, very high quality man. Huh? Such a fine gentleman. Huh? So United Medicine mainly is run by them. They do even our, for many of our temples, they are the ones who make those items and all. You've seen that? Many Muslims, they are very expert in making this kind of things also. Artistic things, they are very, very expert. Live a simple life. No. Arjuna, did he leave his, job of a warrior? But Pandavas became kings of the world. Did they become brahmacharis and go to jungle? Ambarish was the ruler of the world. So only you have to give up your bhoga vritti. You can have everything in life, but it should be permitted by Krishna, sanctioned by Krishna, sanctified by Krishna. You can accept. Like one boy said, Prabhuji, I want to go abroad and make a lot of money. I said, make crores of rupees and give half to Krishna. Mm. Then it is perfect. Prabhuji, every company heads break regulatory principles and are high frequency trading companies against gambling. They pay very high, like more than 50 lakh per annum. That you don't have to worry. That you don't have to worry. And actually, when you talk about company owners may be drinking, smoking. But what is the product a company is promoting? If a company is promoting, for example, one girl finished her course on beauty parlor. And then my parents and daughter came to meet me. They were saying, Prabhuji, my daughter is opening a beauty parlor shop. Huh? And then please kindly give your blessings. I said, how can I give blessing? Huh? You are going to artificially increase the beauty of the people. Huh? And show to the world what they are not. Correct, na? Isn't it? Huh? Yeah. You put lipstick, you put nail polish. And so then I asked them, can you do something based on this, which you don't have to start a beauty parlor? Huh? You can do something else. Like, fashion design also. Fashion design is a nasty area. But in fashion design, there are certain things you can do where you don't have to deal with nasty things. Huh? Similarly, one boy came from law, LLB, LLM, he finished. He said, Prabhu, I am very fed up. All cases which we get are all fraud cases. They are coming and saying, fight for us. Huh? Then I said, then become a teacher in law. He said, blissful. He became very happy. He went and became a professor now. Because professor can teach the pure things. Huh? After that, who wants to do what, it is up to them. So he doesn't have to practice as a lawyer. He can instead become a teacher of law. Correct, no? In the same manner, be very choosy about your profession, what you are choosing. Be very careful. So don't take part in sinful activities. Yeah. So one last question. You said to avoid in any heated discussion with other religion. I wanted to ask whether in case where we are going for Harinam, kirtan doing, should we do when some Muslims are present in bus? Right. You see, actually, the Muslim, Christians, everybody will be there. But how you sing Harinam also is important. Sometimes devotees are too loud, and they beat jambe also, dham, kadam, dam, dham, kadam, dam, jambe also. And it becomes very irritable to the ears of the people also. Even some Hindus don't like if you make very, very loud kirtan in the bus. Sometimes we want to show the power of muscle power to beat the jambe. That kind of kirtan, many people protest also. The train also, that day I was doing kirtan. At 7 o'clock we started. Then some people protested. They said, "Sorry, sab log ute nahi abhi tak so rahe hain." Then I don't do it before 8 in the morning. And in the evening, if you're going in the bus or train, you want to do. If you do a very mild, soft kirtan, many people like it. There are many, many soft tunes you can sing, which are soothing to hear also. They may not know the mantra, but they enjoy it. So perform it in a very, like you have seen Kadam Khan Maharaj, how he sings, you've seen. Isn't it? How soothing, beautiful tunes he sings. Don't sing, some Vrindavan mellows to sing, very soothing. Or what is his name? Our famous Ayendar Prabhu, and also our recent Madhav Prabhu. Very nice tunes they sing, very soft. And they sing, basically the singing repeatedly, it helps the devotees also to remember the Lord and absorb ourselves. And others may also join sometimes. Actually, our singing, even in Harinam, should be so melodious and so devotional and so prayerful that many people should be impelled to want to come and join. It should not be rash. Actually, rash singing, that type of singing is very, it makes people, the performers look very arrogant. It looks. Some tunes are like that tune. Certain tunes when you sing, like Western type of tunes, some devotees are singing, along with jambe. Some tunes are little looking very rash type of tune. So I would suggest that. And especially in the current time, currently there is some riots going on and all. In this type of time, in the bus you are going, better not to do. Correct, no? But these riots, do you think every day, now and then it comes? It doesn't come. It's very extremely rare. Maybe once in a year. And you have to be aware of what's happening in the world around. Okay, in case there are recently riots in the last 2-3 days. Even when we all have come here, yesterday some people, me and Achuman, were peeping from the top and watching. Some people seeing from the road, who are these boys going? Maybe they're all coming together and making some plan or something, talking. And what we are talking, you know. We are talking simple Krishna consciousness, correct, no? So, especially in times like this, like now all of you in Dhoti Kurta, if you are going out from here, it looks like some Hindu gathering. Correct, no? Therefore, when you come for these type of occasions, you can bring pant shirt with you. And then when you're going out, you just wear pant shirt and go. It looks like some tuition center where everybody comes for tuition, isn't it? But here it's not that big a problem because in India, Hindus are majority and there is a lot of protection mechanism in India, much, much more. We rarely hear about riots, extremely rare. When that 2002, 2003 we heard, correct, no? That time, yeah. That time, but later on the land was allotted and the temple is built now. A lot of developments have happened now. So, yes, we can do. We don't have to fear so much that one fellow with beard and topi is sitting, so we should not do kirtan. You don't have to be so fearful. Yeah, don't be so fearful. We can do kirtan. They do namaz in the train also, correct, no? They do or they don't do? 5 times they're very strict. So that's they practice. You also have the right to practice. Like we used to go from Gunjibari temple, we used to go in the MG road, and then one day what it took me like this, and then took some little inside road, very, very slim road, and there was a big mosque there. Then I asked this devotee, why did you bring our group here? Obviously, here also we should do kirtan, they should also hear. Is it good? It's not necessary. Unnecessarily, why you are taking? And those guys are coming. And outside the mosque, the people are standing with sword. 2 people are standing for guarding. Correct, no? So why to go and do that? Later on, I told this devotee, you don't be like this, like vengeful type of thing. You don't have to specifically go to that particular place and loud chanting. In front of that, you want to dance and chant. Unnecessary, right? No? That's a broad road where thousands of people are going, coming. We are already going and doing that. Then afterwards, we never went to that inside lane. We never went. Because you are unnecessarily aggravating them. You are telling them that come out, see what, correct, no? Some people have that mindset. Therefore, I'm telling you, in every religion, you have both sets of people. Moderates and extremists, everywhere. Very horrible material world. Now let's take prasad. You all must be very hungry now. Shri Prabhupada ki